This is Heather Campbell, a little pro marketing advice so you can build a business that makes you happy, makes you money, and brings you good world. So meet George, the newest member of the Campbell clan. This is my son Gus's brand new puppy. He's adorable. We call him Georgie the Corgi, even though we know that that's not how you pronounce corgi. I understand that. But it's so interesting seeing my son with a dog. How much he loves him. I cannot wait for him to have children when he's in a committed relationship with someone who loves him. He loves him, who loves him back, of course. But it is just so neat to see. Thinking about getting a puppy and then drawing analogies to what it feels like to be a new entrepreneur, of course, because that's how my marketing and branding brain works. And so it is so interesting because when you have a puppy, there's a huge amount of reward, right? And you have unconditional love. They're adorable. They're fun. They're all yours, right? All of this. And there's also a little bit of pain associated with it. They chew your shoes. They poop when you don't want them to and in places you don't want them to. They also take a little pee at places you don't want them to as well. And maybe you just didn't get a good one in the bunch, and they might be a little feisty and not fun or cuddly as you want them to. So there's all these things that we go into when you get a puppy, right? And I have two dogs. I don't know if you can hear the one. She's barking right now. But I remember when they were puppies, and it's not like a puppy into your house and think, I'm not going to trim. I'm just going to let them go run wild. I'm going to have a bunch of feral puppies in my house. We would never do that because your house would be a disaster. You would literally have no socks or shoes because they love to chew on things. And you just would never do that. And marketing and branding works in truly in exactly the same way, in that you would never let your marketing go wild. And you really have heard me say a million times that good marketing is never improvised. Never, ever, 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 ever. That is not how it works in the real world. There is planning and intention and strategy and all those kinds of things that go into it. And if that feels like your head's going to explode, it's not even really that complicated. Marketing is not rocket science. Remember, that's our little secret. And so just like training a puppy, marketing requires three things: intention, consistency, and reward. And so it just with intention, with training a puppy, you would do research, you would be prepared, you would have toys, you would have, blankets in a crate and things that that you're going to need. And you want to make sure that you have that same kind of intention in your marketing. And how that shows up in its easiest form is that you got to have goals associated with your marketing, because you have to understand where you want to go and how you want something to work in order to define, did this work for me or did this not work for me? When you set out to do marketing without those kinds of goals, if something works, you're not going to know 100% the reason why, and it's hard to reproduce that. And when something doesn't work, you're really, really, really very, very likely to keep trying to make it work because, again, you don't have that context for really, really where you want to go. And the thing is that you want to start off goal and then just take the first step to that goal. I was actually talking with a couple of my students today, and one of the things that I use all the time in my own personal practice is journaling is super profoundly helpful for me. And so when I'm really feeling overwhelmed or I'm not quite sure exactly what that next step is, I will literally write on the top of the paper, what is my goal? Like if I want to gain followers on Instagram, for instance, what is my first step to there? And I might start choreographing the first part of that journal entry, meaning over the time of my journaling session, and I will absolutely start to get a lot of different answers coming from, I don't know where, the universe, divine divinity, divine downloads, I'm not sure exactly, but it is just a really good place to start. So make sure you have intentions, goals. It is going to make your marketing, oh my gosh, so much easier and so much clearer as you move down that path. And then the beautiful thing is, let's say you want to gain a lot of followers on Instagram, it's going to start with the first step. Then once you do that first step, it's going to be the next step and the next step after that. Just like if you have a puppy, you wouldn't be training a puppy to do tricks until you have command over making sure they poop and pee everywhere. You would start there and then you move into the more advanced stuff. The exact same thing with marketing. Second is consistency. And with children, with puppies, with marketing, consistency is the most important way to be. And you must have a consistent presence in order to be there for your community, so they know what you're all about. They're going to understand your opinion. And most importantly, nobody likes that friend who shows up and is just there to borrow money. And just like nobody likes a marketer who's up only when they have something. You want to make sure that you develop and have that consistent presence so you can develop a relationship with your most valuable customers. And those are the people who need what you have, buy what you sell, pay what you ask, right? And then they buy again and refer. So that's what makes a customer a most valuable customer. And so you want to make sure that you have a regular presence. So when you do have an offer, it's an extension of your relationship and your personality and what you are bringing in, the value you've created with them. Without that kind of consistency, marketing becomes a whole lot harder. Just like training a puppy, you have to make sure, you get up at the same time, you take them out, you have a routine, and you want to have the same kind of routine. Last but not least is reward. And I think that this is something that is so often overlooked by entrepreneurs. And that is just like with the puppy, when they do good, you're like, good boy, good girl, good girl. You want to be able to do the same thing for you, because this is tender work, bringing your work out there and telling people, hey, I'm open for business. I have something that I think you might like, a way of solving your problem or a product that would work for you. You want to be, I understand this is such tender work. So acknowledge the hard work. I give major props to people who are in this space who do not have any relevant marketing or branding experience, because it is challenging for me. And I've had my whole career doing branding and marketing too. So I understand 100,000% how hard it can be to put yourself out there. It is risky, it is tender, it's scary. And all of those things should absolutely be acknowledged all the way through, because it's hard work. And every time you take a step forward, I want you to sit back and please make this part of your practice, that you sit back down at the end of something. Wow, these are all the things that I did. And that's really pretty amazing. Like all the way through, because I understand how tough this work can be. So from George, hang on a second, let me pull up this picture again, because he is quite the adorable puppy. Hang on a second. Well, I'm not going to be able to do that. Anyways, from George the puppy, George the corgi, from Heather Campbell, just please remember, when it comes to marketing, just like puppy training, intention, have those business goals, make sure you know where you're going, make sure you have everything you need to take that step forward. The next step is going to reveal itself, and then the next one after that, and the next one after that. And before you know it, you're going to be so far down this marketing path, and someone's going to be asking you for advice, and you're going to actually know exactly what to say to help them, which is really cool. Make sure you have consistency in your presence. So be consistent on social, be consistent, email, show up, same day, around the same time, and let people know that you are here, that you have an opinion, that you want a relationship with them. It's going to make it so much easier to sell down the road. And then acknowledge all your beautiful hard work and reward everything that you've done to get yourself to this place that you are in at today, right today. So please know, I hope that helps. I love it when I have a little analogy, especially from an adorable puppy with the biggest ears I've ever seen. Okay, so wherever you are in this beautiful, crazy, ever-changing world of ours, please know that there is someone right here in Denver, Colorado. That is me, Heather Campbell, who is 100,000% rooting for you. Take care, guys, and I'll see you here next Thursday in the spirit of consistency. Take care, and I'll see you here next week.